Hello, and welcome back to the Specialist Learning Podcast. I'm Katie Nelson, Dyslexia and Dyscalculia Specialist and founder of the Dyslexia and Dyscalculia Academy. Each month, I use this space to share reflections from practice, insights from specialist work, and things I see every day when supporting learners and families. The aim is always to give you something really practical to think about, something that helps you understand dyslexia and dyscalculia more deeply, and something that you can take straight into your own practice or home life. So, wherever you're listening from today, whether you're driving, having a cup of tea, or just taking that quiet moment, I'm really glad that you're here. Today, I'd like to talk about something that I know many tutors start thinking about as we approach the end of the school year, and that's summer. Because every year, without fail, I hear parents asking the same question to their tutors. How do I stop my child going backwards over the holidays? Or should we be doing more worksheets every day? How much should they be reading? Should we be practicing maths more? And underneath all of those questions is usually one thing. Parents don't want all the hard work that their child has put into this year to disappear over 6 weeks. Now, I completely understand why they feel like that. If your child has worked incredibly hard to improve their reading, or they've finally started to feel a little more confident with maths, the thought of losing that progress can feel quite worrying. But here's the good news. I actually don't think summer has to be about trying to recreate school at home. In fact, I'd probably encourage the opposite. Because after a long school year, our learners deserve a break. They deserve lazy mornings, days outside, family time, ice creams. My personal favourite with my youngest, building dens, going to the beach, playing in the garden. Those things matter too. So the question isn't, how do we keep doing school? It's how do we keep curiosity alive? And I think that's a really different conversation. Because learning isn't something that only happens when they're sitting at a table with a worksheet or with yourself as their tutor. Some of the richest learning happens without children even realising it's learning. Think about a child helping bake some cakes. They're measuring, they're comparing, they're estimating and following instructions. They're sequencing, reading, they're using maths. Think about going on holiday. They're reading signs, looking at maps, working out change, talking about where they've been, describing new places, building vocab. None of that feels like school, but it's all learning. And I think sometimes we do actually underestimate just how valuable those experiences are. Now, as tutors, this is something we can really help parents with. Because quite often parents feel they need permission to stop battling over homework style activities. I know many of you will have experienced this when a parent says, I bought this workbook, we've done 2 pages of, and now every morning ends in tears. And we laugh because we've all heard it. But actually it's quite sad because learning should not be dominating the family holiday. Instead, we can help our parents shift that focus. So rather than saying, can you do 20 maths questions today? What if we suggested, can you spot 10 numbers while you're shopping? Or can you read the menu together? Or can you invent the world's funniest ice cream flavour? Suddenly, we're still practicing important skills, but we've removed the pressure. And one thing I often say is this: children rarely remember the worksheet, but they do remember making pancakes with dad, or reading under a tree, or writing a silly postcard, pretending they're on Mars. Those are the memories that stick. And interestingly, they're often the activities that create the strongest opportunities for language development, for problem solving, and for confidence. As tutors, we can make this really easy for parents. Before your final session of the year, spend just 5 minutes chatting. Ask them, what are your plans this summer? If they're going camping, suggest keeping a holiday diary perhaps. If they're going abroad, you could challenge their child to collect 5 new words. If they're staying at home, maybe encourage a reading picnic in the garden or a scavenger hunt looking for numbers, shapes or interesting words. Parents don't necessarily need lots of resources. Often they just need ideas, simple ideas that fit naturally into family life. And that's exactly why I've created the resource that accompanies today's episode. I've called it the Summer Learning Without Tears activity book. And that's really important, the without tears bit here, because the whole purpose is to encourage playful learning. Inside, you'll find reading challenges, creative writing activities, and practical maths ideas that children can just dip into throughout the holidays at their own pace. There are activities like a reading treasure hunt, character detective, we've got the summer reading bingo, imaginative writing tasks, number scavenger hunts, and even a mocktail challenge. It just brings measuring into a fun real-life activity. They're designed to be really enjoyable, not another homework book, not something that parents feel they have to complete from beginning to end with their children. Just little invitations to keep curiosity ticking over. And if you're a tutor listening today, I'd really encourage you to share it with the families that you support. Sometimes a small gesture like that can completely change how parents approach the summer holidays. Instead of feeling anxious, they begin to feel a bit more equipped. Before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Progress isn't only measured by how many spellings a child remembers in September. Sometimes progress looks like a child who chooses to pick up a book because reading has become enjoyable. Sometimes it's the child who confidently measures ingredients while baking or writes a postcard without worrying if every word is spelt correctly and perfectly, or notices numbers in the world around them because maths suddenly feels useful. Those moments matter. Sometimes far more than any other worksheet ever could. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope it's given you something practical to reflect on in your own practice or at home. And if you're listening on Spotify or another podcast platform, make sure you check the session notes where you'll find the supporting resource linked to this episode. And if you're listening inside the Tutor Vault, you'll know that alongside each podcast episode, you can access a growing library of specialist tools designed to support learners with dyslexia and dyscalculia. This month's supporting resource is my Summer Learning Without Tears activity book, packed with fun reading, writing and maths activities that tutors can share with parents to help keep learning enjoyable throughout the holidays. If you're not inside the Tutor Vault yet and you'd like access to those resources, you can head over to www.dyslexia-academy.com. Thank you again for being here. Until next time, take care and keep supporting learning with understanding.